Of Diversify. Diversify are a non-profit organisation that challenges perception by providing social inclusion workshops led by those affected by these issues in order to provide real, experience-led sessions that should educate the public. It is absolutely fundamental to the cause of human rights that we promote equality and the protection of all people from discrimination and violence. It should be obvious that there are so many ways to be different, so many different ways to be a human being. We need to respect and embrace these differences, not criminalise them, not attack people, not deprive them of their equal rights or the protection of the law just because they are seen as different. It is essential that we defend and protect the LGBT+ community and all faith communities from every kind of violence and discrimination. There should be nothing controversial about stopping people being attacked, murdered or executed simply because of who they are or who they love. Tackling this kind of violence does not require new norms. As a lesbian, I grew up knowing that I was different. Hearing other kids call anyone who deviated from the traditional gender expectations as a fag or being called a dyke or a leser at the age of 11, I hadn't come out to anyone and I didn't really understand what that meant, but I knew in my heart that it was an insult. At an early age, we learn that it is at best different to be LGBT+. And many of us have taught that this difference is bad, shameful, deviant, disgusting. We might try to hide it. We might wish it away. We might learn that even if our family accepts us, that there are some relatives that may not. We get asked to hide who we are so not to make them feel uncomfortable. This teaches us shame. We hear about LGBT+ people who have been physically attacked or even killed for being who they are. This teaches us fear. While I know I grew up with privilege and others have stories far worse than mine, I also believe that countless other LGBT+ people could tell stories just like this. Not the same, but all rooted in a legacy that made us feel ashamed of who we are. And yet I, like many of us, also learned pride and hope and found a community that loves me and makes me feel welcome. So let's teach love instead. We never leave those initial experiences of shame and discrimination behind completely. Our sexual orientation may or may not be readily visible to others. How we dress or how we might act may identify us as gay, but it also might not. And it won't in all circumstances. Even with a wife and even holding hands, people don't always see a couple. I have to decide whether to come out or hide again and again. At the doctor's, at my child's school, when talking about weekend plans with colleagues, because people usually assume heterosexuality. Gay people think about when to hold hands or to kiss goodbye in public. Sometimes it's a matter of safety. The fact that straight couples don't have to think about these questions is a constant reminder of our difference. And every time I do come out, some part of me still wonders whether in that moment I'll find that my community has grown larger, or I'll face rejection, or possibly worse. Apologies, my hands are freeze. This isn't just a case about one man standing on his soapbox spreading hate. It is about legacy of discrimination and devaluation and the rejection of our shared humanity. And yet it's also a case about hope, promise and love. The hope that people will recognise that all of us are worthy of respect and fair treatment. The promise to LGBT young people that they won't live in fear and embarrassment as we did. And as a mother with unwavering love for her daughter, showing people why discrimination has no place in our country and no place in our city. stand here and quote Franklin Graham's cruel words. We all know what he said and why we are here today. I am not willing to add oxygen to a fire of hate by giving my voice to his words. We know that the motivations of people like Franklin Graham are reactionary. They are here to return us to an era where LGBT plus people should get back in the closet and hide and be ashamed of who they are. Well, we aren't going to get back in that closet and hide, or be ashamed of who we are, and nor are we going to allow a generation of children that are in our schools to go through what we did, feel isolated and excluded. It is absolutely imperative that every human being's freedom and human rights are respected all over the world. Equality means more than just passing laws and policy. The struggle is really won in the hearts and minds of a community. That is where it matters. That is where it counts. So today, I stand here asking our community to stand with us against hate, against discrimination in all its forms. I am asking our elected council officials to represent all of your community and all of its people. I am asking our council to stay true to its own words. You said you were committed to promoting equality, fairness and inclusion. So do that. Listen to the people that elected you. Listen to the fear and worry that this brings them. Think long and hard about the message that it sends to these people, how alone, isolated and unrepresented that they will feel. Think about hate crime. In total, 3,126 hate crimes and hate incidents were reported to South Yorkshire Police in 2019. That's nearly 200 more than the year before. And there were a record number, 103,379 offences in 2018 and 19 across the UK. Hate crime continues to rise. We cannot afford to turn a blind eye to this and take no action. Franklin Graham's rhetoric demonises our most vulnerable communities. He poses such a great risk to our city's social cohesion, so please take action and cancel this event. Please reject attempts to create even more division in such worrying times in our society. There will not be a magic day when we wake up and it's okay to express ourselves publicly. We make that day by doing things publicly until it's simply the way things are. Openness may not completely disarm prejudice, but it's certainly a good place to start. Thank you all for giving me the opportunity to speak today and to the organisers of this event. Remember, if we stand firm and always fight hate with love, then maybe one day there'll be no battle to win. And what a wonderful day that would be. Thank you. Next